okay if I film you guys?
Yeah.
Cool. Hey there. Awesome. Cool. Alright. Okay. Alright. Alright. Cool. Alright. My name is Alexander Cathedral. You can call me Alex. Nothing too formal. I'm 29 years old. I am a photographer, videographer, rapper, producer, and just dabble in a little other things. And so when I was 18 years old, a few friends of mine, we started a record label and a community of artists. There was about like 35 to 50 of us. And we did our own music videos, we recorded our own things, we edited our own stuff, we do our own concerts and stuff like that. And I mean, John and Dylan were like a huge part of that team, helping us out with all those things as well. And then at 21, I moved to Grove City, Pennsylvania. It's near Pittsburgh. And I started my own business. I did freelance videography, photography, and then music. And I did anything from corporate videos to individual portraits, senior portraits, families. I just kind of did anything and everything that I could just to survive, because for the past 7 years it's just been full freelance, and it's been my main source of income. Yeah, that's a little basic rundown of who I am. I'm just going to try to go really quick with it. There's 3 basic points that I'm going to give you, and then I'm going to give you a story, and then I'm going to show you a video that I've done describing a little bit more of who I am, and then I'll be done. But I just wanted to thank you guys for having me. You too, thank you for having me. And it's cool to be here because John, Dylan, and Paul, it's cool that you're here, man. They've really been part of my journey, and especially the beginning processes. So I just want to honor you guys and thank you guys a lot for being mad supportive through the years, and always like been really encouraging. So it's like really weird to be here, but like, it's like super cool. It's like I haven't even here, but it's cool. I'm like really honored. And then thank you guys for sharing, Zachariah, Susan, and Dylan. And, yeah, it's really inspiring seeing your guys' stuff, and yeah, everything that you said, bro, from caring about people, that's like huge from the heart too. So that's like really hitting me hard. And Zachariah, your stuff, your attention to detail and things like that, and your care for curating and typography, bro. And then Susan, just your work is incredible. Your color grading and your directing, I'm just super inspired. So thanks for showing your stuff. But yeah, so go to the next slide. I'm gonna try to hit 3 points and what I think portfolio is. Again, like everyone said, I don't think my perspective is the only perspective. It's an added perspective what everyone else has said, and so I just want to kind of share mine. So one is to me, choosing is like, 1, take the pressure off of yourself. 2, you don't have to have everything figured out to start, and then 3, choose the work that you want to be hired to do. So you go to the next slide. I'm just gonna tell you a story. It's my first job I ever got in my entire life. It's Restaurant Echo, and so I moved to Pennsylvania, and I was 21 years old. I didn't go to school for video or photography at all. I started doing our own record label kind of stuff, right? We did our own video things, and my friend Justice Ott, he showed me how to like shoot a second angle for a music video, and then I watched him edit once, and I was like, oh, what the heck? I was like, okay. And then after that, we just kind of, with a lot of other friends and other things I learned from a lot of people throughout the process. But when so at this job, right? Okay, so my mentor hits me up and was like, hey, you're gonna shoot for this restaurant. It's called Restaurant Echo. They just did $1 million renovations. They only serve dinner. And oh no, the AirPods!
They're good.
Oh my gosh, they did. There's the air in the pod.
Oh, it is?
I'm the
Yeah.
rescue.
They went across the room.
Paul's got it.
Thanks, Paul.
Oh.
Wow, Paul, what a lifesaver, bro.
No worries.
So they did a $1 million renovation. They only served dinner, and they only had one chef. And so it was just like super high class place. And I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, who am I? And so the night before, my brother, he was living with me at the time, and he's older than me. And so we were sitting against this wall, and I was bawling, I was crying. I was like, bro, I go to school. Like, who am I to even charge them? They said charge $250. Like, I've never done anything like this before. Like, I got nothing to show them. I'm like, what the heck? And so he's like, no, just, put together whatever you have and then present it to them. So I was like, okay. So after crying, I got to my computer and my eyes are still red. I can hardly see what I'm saying. So I'm like editing, and I was like, okay, like what can I put together? So I stayed up until about 4 a.m. and I chose footage from some vlogs that I put together. I just traveled to Chicago recently at the time, so I was like, okay, I put some footage there, some of my old work that we did at PD, and just some random things I did for the church. So I did that, and then the next morning I had the meeting with the owner. So I set up my laptop and I show her, and after I show the video, she's like, okay. The first thing she says out of her mouth, she says, so in college I graduated with a photojournalism degree. And I was like, oh, she's about to tear my work apart. And she goes, if any of my professors saw this, they would have said you had everything from lighting to composition to movement. This is an excellent video. We want to work with you. So yeah, let's do it. Let's start like next week. I was like inside. I was like jumping. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, yeah, absolutely. I got this. I was like, but no, I was like super hyped. And yeah, and so that was kind of like the beginning of a lot of my work and kind of where I root myself in. And where a lot of these core beliefs come from is, I didn't know what I was doing, and so taking the pressure off yourself is like, I didn't go to school, I didn't do all these things. Comparison, a lot of what the other individuals and creators talked about, and I compared a lot to myself. So as you guys are choosing your portfolio, like take the pressure off yourself and choose what you have. Don't wait, don't try to get to where you need to be. Just be good with where you're at. And so the second point is you don't need it all figured out to start. And so again, for me, I was just like, all right, how would I use what I have? And they don't know, your clients, they don't know if what you've done or not. You just show up. And then lastly, choose the work you want to be hired to do. So after the past 7 or 10 years, I'm still trying to discover myself. My style's still changing and it's still growing. But I've come to a point where I'm like, well, I want to be hired to do my type of style, my thing, right? So I can be confident when I go there, and I don't want to just pick up anything just for the sake of picking it up because it's money. I want to do it because I love it and I can give it my best work to it. So the next thing I want to show you is a little bit more of an example of my portfolio per se, to kind of give you more example of who I am, and then kind of the way that I see things, the way that I view things. So yeah, can you turn off the lights? Is that cool? Oh, awesome. Hello, my name is Alexander Malistrella Cathedral. I am 26 years old, and I am currently living in Grove City, Pennsylvania. I figured that the best way that I could tell my story is through my name. Alexander means defender of the people. I love people. After God, people are most important in life. And as an artist, I believe people are the substance of art. Throughout my life in creative endeavors, I have found that if you protect the heart, you'll protect the art. My life is committed to making people feel known and loved, and that people would believe that who they are and what they have inside of them is important and can change the world. Mel, that's my dad's name. I found out as my brother and I were working on a family documentary that he was quite the artist, and that because of a lack of finances, he was never fully able to pursue his dreams. It began to make sense to me. In 2009, myself and a few good friends started a record label collective and a family called Persevering Destiny. We did it all: music, video, photography, marketing, you name it. And we were young, believing and chasing after a dream. And personally, we did it. But I graduated, moved to Grove City, Pennsylvania, and left it all behind, but didn't leave the relationships and the experiences that were created. In 2011, I started my own business, known as Cathedralography. It's a visual storytelling company that embraces humanity and finds beauty out of the ordinary. Since then, I've been self-employed, living off of my art. One of the main reasons why I've chosen the entrepreneurial path is because my dad never had the opportunity to live out his dreams. My parents sacrificed their dreams so that my brother and I could have a better life and live out ours. I do it for them, for my best friend Ben, for past generations, and for future ones. Estrella, that's my mama's maiden name, which means star. I believe we all have something to share and we all have something to let shine. I'm still on a journey of finding what they all are, but I hope that becoming a JP Fellow will open my eyes to new perspectives. Cathedral, it means church, but also enormous and gigantic. I was told by my family that when the Spaniards came to the Philippines, they named our family tribe Cathedral because we were towering people compared to the other tribes. I believe that we were all made for greatness. And my roots are deep into my faith and influence the way I live my life. If it weren't for God's love and the church, I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't consider myself a filmmaker by definition, but I believe through my everyday I operate as one in unconventional ways. I truly want to learn the art of it as well as the technique in hopes to truly tell stories that have not been discovered, for the voices that have not been heard, and honestly for the love of it. But I want to do it with excellence. I believe stories and films are the keys to the past, a gift for the present, and a pathway to the future. I want to learn from who came before us. I want to capture, shape, innovate, inspire, and create for our generation. And I want to give hope and leave a legacy for our children. So why me? I believe what the Jubilee Project stands for, I stand for. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope to meet you all soon. So that was an actual application for a Jubilee project, and I created that video. And one of the things that I did for that video was just recently I went back to it and I added more footage to it. And so as you all could see, is that one thing I want to show is that, like myself, I'm growing and I'm changing. And so same with your work, right? It's like it's growing and changing. So like, know where you're at right now. It's okay to start with where you're at and know that later on that you can always add and change it. Your portfolio isn't final. It's not like you show it once and then that's what it's always going to be. So don't be afraid to just put yourself out there right away. So one of the things that another applicable kind of thing like is Instagram, right? Like, I think I have a website. I have 3 websites actually because I suck at websites. So I'm like, let me just do it all. So my view on it is that, hey, like, okay, Facebook, Instagram, social media is your portfolio, right? Like, I've gotten a lot of jobs because of that. And so what I've started to do over time is like, you can see from left to right and then to the bottom right, these are all the evolution of where I've kind of began and where I ended up. And I started stylizing it a little bit more of, okay, I was doing landscape, and then I started doing portraiture, then I started doing weddings. And then I was like, you know what? I like to do little fun things, like lifestyle stuff that Dylan was talking about. Like, I just like doing those kind of things. And so, can I get hired to do those kind of stuff? And so I just started to promote those things more, presented those things more, and just allowed myself to be hired for those kind of things. So in the end, I think what's, you can go to the next slide, just my brother jumping for joy, is like, yeah, I just take your time, don't take the pressure off yourself, and, you know, don't be afraid to just start, and yeah, choose the work you want to be hired to do. So thanks for having me.